So we now know right about half of the species coming to the brand new map set in Alberta, and I gotta say the lineup feels a little bit like Silver Ridge Peaks North, plus of course with some new species, and there's still 8 that we haven't gotten to see just yet. So I thought we'd come out here to Silver Ridge Peaks multiplayer, see if we can find anything cool, and maybe take a look at some of the species that we'll be seeing up there in Alberta as well. And of course we know there will be bison in Alberta, however, they're not going to be plains bison, they'll instead be wood bison, so I'm pretty excited for that, but similar enough, and we've got the 375, also I had the HUD off, that was actually for making that beaver short, if you guys saw that. So let's go ahead, line this up, and I will say I'm quite excited for wood bison, they're huge in real life, and I wonder do we have the potential of seeing the next biggest animal in the Hunt Call of the Wild. It's been water buffalo for years, so I'm really excited about that too, and just the models. Like, they looked so good in that trailer. I never thought that plains bison were bad by any stretch, and I still don't really think that, but I thought the wood bison in that looked fantastic. That's super exciting with them coming along, and also something that I went ahead and did. I grabbed the 3030. We know the La Perrier, I don't know if I'm saying that right, 3030 is coming with the Alberta map, so I figured we'd use that some today. Pretty much anything it's ethical for, we'll probably try to use it. Not ethical for bison. Luckily the 375 takes care of that with a hard shot. Now it is hardly anything worth talking about. A level 2 pronghorn out here, but a good opportunity to use the 3030, and I tried to customize this one to be as close to the La Perrier as I could, and I think I actually got it pretty close. But one really big exciting thing with it is the fact that it's going to be able to have a multitude of scopes, which I assume means the Odin, the Argus, the Hyperion, all that kind of stuff. So having a 3030 rifle, or a lever action really in general, there's not that many that has that variety, I think that's going to be really nice. But let's see if we can line that. I'll be kind of moved, but I think that'll punch through. I think it got him, but man, he is starting to take off. Now, in my research for just Alberta game species, pronghorn were on the list. They haven't been revealed yet as a species on there, so I don't know if they're going to be on the map or not. But I think there's a chance we could be seeing that kind of thing, and if that's the case, a new 3030 could add even more value to the map. Now, that guy looks a little bit better, maybe for the sake of actually getting a good one. We'll try to use that again. By the way, I know I'm talking about like having a new scope and that being exciting. This Helios, like the lens glare and stuff, it looks really nice on this. But then we have one dead pronghorn laying here. He's gonna be a whole 54 score, and no actual prongs happening there, but there's another one laying right up there that actually did have prongs. Maybe even a gold? Doesn't look too bad. 71, so he falls a little bit shy of gold, but that was double lung. A little better out of the 3030 that time, and I'm assuming, by the way, it'll have like the same ammo and that kind of stuff, so probably as far as performance goes, we'll be looking at the same thing. I will be curious about zero ranges. Now, the 3030 in real life, I hunted with the 3030 for years. It's not a long range type of caliber, so I kind of assume 150 will be the top end, but maybe we could see it push a little bit further. Now, unfortunately, this might be the saddest group of bighorn rams I have ever seen in my life. 2 level 2s and a level 3. Wait, is that a male too? Sure enough, that's a level 2 as well. I don't see even like an inkling of a curl anywhere here, but one thing that I'm super excited about, and one of the reasons I had to come to SRP today, the fact that Bighorn got redone and you can see it so clearly in that trailer, that's super exciting, and I really think hunting them is going to be a fresh experience. But we're going to go 30-30 on this, despite them being a class 5 and decently tough. I will say, if we don't get it, not going to be a big deal, because it's not exactly huge, but he's going down. Actually did a better job than I thought it would. But obviously you can see the parallels to Silver Ridge Peaks, and I can't wait to see a bighorn that looks a little bit better than this, maybe with some curls too, you know, that would be nice, but 111 silver, I'm pretty sure we've literally shot females to score higher than that. Looking at that, it probably isn't showing correctly, but it's not like it got right lung by a lot. They're just starting to drink, so I'm sure we'll get more opportunities, especially if we can find, let's say, a level 4 or better. So that's looking just a little bit better. That's a 4. And there are, like, a whole bunch of bighorn rams around here, but I think that's probably as good a one as we're going to get. So, actually, he's higher estimate. Well, in that case, we'll go that way. So, just because we saw that last time, it didn't look like it punched through by a lot. Let's try that again just to see how it does. I'd like to maybe try to hard shot one, but I want to know that there's a chance that round's getting through there first. So at least a solid bighorn, an actual curl happening there. Now, I think that guy might be a little bit confused, but that's led us to a couple of decent Rocky Mountain elk bulls. I think we can probably alert him just by doing that. That's gonna stand him up. I do wonder if there's more, because 2 together is kind of weird, without there being others, but 375 can drop him. Let's get up here. I guess not. I mean, there's a chance that herd's been hunted before, but I think our level 4 Bighorn probably is laying right up there around where the elk was. And of course, rather excitingly, there aren't going to be Rocky Mountain elk on the brand new Alberta map. It's going to be the Manitoban elk. So I'm really going to be curious to like compare them. We got the one image and they definitely look like Rocky Mountain elk, but obviously the models and I think the antlers are a whole lot better. As for our Bighorn, that guy was a 147. It's that black fur too, which I'm really excited to see like the redone version. That got into the longest plenty, so should we need a heart shot, that should be fine. And our elk is dropped right over there. And luckily, no tracking needed for that, but not that these antlers are terrible or anything. I just, at least in the screenshot we got, I thought the Manitoban ones looked really, really nice. So 390 for him. Jeez, that 375. Heart, lung, and liver, and really, if it was more straight on, would have been at least into the stomach as well. Not too bad, and we are going to probably... I guess we got leapfrog to maybe jump up into here then? That is a decent mountain lion. He also just did that little, like, growl roar thing. And there's some elk right over there that I wouldn't be shocked if he's going to go and chase. So, another 30-30 opportunity. He's lifting his head. I think that should find its way through the lungs, and we're actually just starting to hit mule deer drink time. So, I'm actually unsure if mule deer drink here, but we're going to hit that spot and then probably move our way through the south. Hopefully we can find something decent for them, and that's the final one, and we'll probably wait to talk about that till we get to see them. It looks to me in the trailer like they got a redo, and I'm really excited to see what that actually turns out as. So first things first, this guy, which maybe he started to come back actually. It was a left lung shot, but this one was very low bleed rate. It kind of surprised me. I didn't realize mountain lions were like that resilient, but either way, decent little gold for that. And we'll start to see what we can find for muleys. Now that's a pretty decent mule deer buck, and I think for once we're going away from the 30-30 where it's ethical. Got the 303. And on the run like that, I just feel like we're far more likely to actually bring it down with this. So it's gonna take some zooming and probably just generally kind of knowing what the mule deer models look like now. But if we zoom in on the one, specifically the doe with the snow on its back, to me, it certainly looks a little bit different. Like the face looks different. I feel like they've been redone, and I'm really excited to see like a close-up of that. And I also wonder what that means because, remember, back in November, December, whenever that was, mule deer won the new racks or new antlers pull. So I'm really curious to see, will there be new racks? What's that gonna bring? Super, super exciting stuff. But 297 for that guy, that's gotta be the best kill of the hunt thus far. Got him on the run. And hopefully there's more where that came from. That's looking good. That's a, wow, boy, that's a really nice 4 up to 302. I thought he was gonna be better than that even. And I think we gotta go 303 again. The problem is, that angle is, not good. That's a decent 4 there as well. This is like neck or nothing here. Man, I felt really good about that. I guess we didn't get the shot in there. And I also don't know if we get a follow-up. That's him. Well, if he goes down the hill, that's not going to work. He is going down. So I think it'll bring him down. And especially because he's like sprinting and never going to trot. There, we hit him again. That's normally evidence is going to get him. If you shoot an animal, hit it poorly, and they never really go to trot, they normally run that out till they drop. Now, one thing that always kills me with Silver Ridge Peaks is the mule deer drink time just seems to go so fast, and I think it's just like the distance that you have to go, let's say, from the outpost to the lake or whatever. You spend a lot of that time running. You know what? If we had aimed higher, we'd have got that. I think. It looks like it would have. Anyway, you spend so much time running that time just melts away, and next thing you know, they're done drinking. But I want to get down here, and tracking that guy all that way didn't exactly help us with things, but it was a nice buck. So we've actually got a decent mountain goat out here, and only because we've got the 30-30 with us today, we're going to go ahead and try to get that. Now, we talked about the heart shot thing. We should be able to do it with mountain goats too. The only thing is we need him to stand still. That's not perfectly facing us. That actually worked and dropped him. I wasn't 100% sure that he wouldn't run off a little bit with that. But at some stage here, and I don't know when it happened, we got host. So I figured we'd go ahead and rest, go to early morning Rocky Mountain Elk and Black Bear drink time, see if we can maybe find for them, because that's the kind of two things we haven't gotten to hunt very much. And go figure, found a mountain goat along the way. And with that, first 30-30 heart shot of the day, 91 score. Again, we can't really see what happened based on that, but obviously it got through there. 115 meters, pretty solid job. I heard something sneak on through there, but we're going to keep moving north, check this little lake, and then I really want to go up to, like, these two. So that's a pretty good looking bull there. Up to 441. Oh yeah, he's actually trotting over to the rest of them. I had to figure there was going to be more somewhere. Another decent one. He's maybe a little bit bigger, probably the same basic rack shape. So maybe we go for that. That's maybe 180 or so. We get to go back to the 375. Sneak that shot above the ground. He's going to be going absolutely nowhere. And the whole thing got derailed a couple of weeks ago when we got our Great One Black Bear. But at this particular spot on stream, while we were actually setting up the grind to begin with, we ended up finding an elk just a little bit bigger than that one. When? I don't know. I don't know if I wanted to do a Subnautica playthrough this spring and never got it done, but ooh, hello. Where have you come from? I killed one elk earlier. That's a stud. That's huge. Oh, wait, no. It's going to be like 490 or something. Well, that's convenient. I think probably that means our swap didn't work. Anywho. Spot bear. Shoot elk. Move. Shoot bear. Did I get him? Uh-oh. I think so. He ran pretty far. That might be bad. Smoked. Okay, so it was just the distance. Seems like around 300 stuff starts running way further. Too bad there's not skull mounts in Call of the Wild, because that would be a 6 skull mount. Well, who would have thunk it? I said earlier somebody asked about like the event and stuff. One of the things I love about the events is you go and hunt stuff you haven't been hunting. Maybe that diamond elk was chilling, maybe it's a respawn from like the one I killed earlier. Either way, we don't get that if we're grinding for pheasants. And speaking of bears, it was supposed to be in the video that I was recording when the Great One bear showed up, and that just threw the entire thing off. Obviously, at that point, the entire video became about that Great One bear, and frankly, I had almost forgotten about having shot it until we came here today, kind of in preparation of getting to go to Alberta to Askiy Ridge. So, gonna go ahead and grab our bear and elk, and I think we'll probably go and check that spot up there, just in case there's anything else, but that is a whole 14.21 bronze. This guy's gonna be a little bit better than that. And there goes our other one, just for fun. That's up to 441, just to have an idea. That guy's 387. I guess it could have gone either way, but it looked to me like they were the same rack, and this guy had a better estimate. So, double lung, 387 score, and I think we got one final spot to check. And at least, best I can tell, nothing super special. I guess that's a max estimate 4. A couple of sort of decent ones in there. Nothing across the way there minus that guy. So I think, might as well go for the level 4. See if we can maybe get a hard shot with that. Gonna be a little tough shooting through the brush. I thought that was too far back, but that'll work. And we get to take back a much nicer one, probably to the second trophy lodge. We have a good number of Diamond Rockies in our main lodge, though that one that we got there, I believe that's like, it's not the big rack, but for some reason it's just crazy tall. I think it's like the, let's say the biggest total frame, maybe not in terms of mass, but just overall beam length and all that. It looks crazy, and we don't have one in the second lodge, and I think I've got a good idea where it can go. So first things first, our heart shot. You know, we were back. It could have been a little further forward, but happened to catch the bottom of it, so that worked out. He is 422. So he's really not that much different than the last one we shot. And we'll go back to our trophy lodge then. Now we're going to have to move some stuff, because I'm certainly not taking down our tiger for forever. But I think, especially having gotten the Pseudomela male that we have in... Oh, I was going to say, where the heck is it at? But that wasn't something we just shot. But since that's in our main lodge now, I think we can do something like that. And you can see the frame is so huge. Did the antlers go through the wall for a lot of that? Something like that may work. That's probably clipping a little bit. Really, even just that. Like, it takes up that space really nicely. I think we'll do that one, just because it's a little more upright. That looks pretty darn good. So, quickly, we'll find a spot to put the tiger now. Now, I'm fairly sure we had, like, maybe a diamond tiger here or something, but I imagine I took it off this spot in order to make a thumbnail and then never replaced it. That happens a lot. So, we're going to do maybe that. Got a water buffalo there. I want to say it was November of 2024. That would have come from Cedar Baton, so the two of those being together I think works. And as far as the entrance to this lodge now, giant diamond Rocky Mountain elk at, what was he, 491? A couple of diamond red deer on either side. I think that looks pretty darn nice. So, cool to make that addition. As I said, I had all but forgotten about that kill till we went out there to Silver Ridge Peaks today, and I'm excited to see what else comes from the information that we'll slowly find out regarding Askiy Ridge, regarding Alberta, and, you know, how close is Silver Ridge Peaks to being, you know, the closest map that we currently have. I think it probably will be, but only time will tell when more species and more information comes out. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video, so as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.